Early retirement and financial independence? Yes, please. I mean, who wouldn't want that, right? Hitting your 40s and walking away from the grind to live life on your terms. It sounds like a dream, but nothing in life is free. And with the FIRE movement, just like anything else, there's a cost. So the real question is, are you willing and able to pay that cost right now so you can have that early retirement and financial independence dream? Is the FIRE movement really for you? Well, there's a few things you need to know, starting with this. What exactly is the FIRE movement? FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And on the surface, it sounds simple. Save a large percentage of your income, invest it, and eventually you'll have enough money to walk away from work for good. But here's the catch. That large percentage they talk about, we're talking big numbers. You'll often hear FIRE experts say you need to save 50, 60, even 70% of your income to make it work. And I remember hearing one of those experts say exactly that. Save 50 to 70% of your income and you can retire early and have a good life. But my brain did something funny when I heard that. I didn't hear save 50 to 70%. Instead, I heard you have to live off just 30 to 50% of your income. And that hit me hard. At the time, I was making around $30,000 a year, so I did the math. Wait, does that mean I'm supposed to live off $9,000 for the whole year? It's about $750 a month. Even living off half my income at that time, $15,000, didn't feel possible. And that's the problem no one talks about. The extreme savings rate FIRE assumes, the income levels that make it remotely realistic, and the risk of burning yourself out, living so frugally, cutting out so much that you miss out on life today in the name of freedom later. And let's be honest, even for middle class earners, those FIRE numbers just don't add up. According to the Pew Research Center, middle class households in the U.S. typically earn between $43,000 and $130,000, with the median sitting around $80,000. Doesn't sound too bad, but here's something you might not hear in FIRE discussions. Only 18% of Americans actually earn over $100,000 a year. That means most people are living on incomes somewhere between $43,000 and $80,000 if you're in the middle class income level. So let's break that down with an example. Say you're earning $62,000, right in the middle of that range. If you go all in on FIRE and you try to save 70% of your income, that means you'd have to set aside about $43,400 every year and try to live off just $18,600 or about $1,550 a month. Even if you take a more conservative approach and aim to save just 50%, you still need to live off only $31,000 a year or about $2,500 a month. Can you do that? I mean, let's be real. In a lot of areas, rent or a mortgage alone is over $1,000 a month. That leaves maybe $1,500 for everything: food, utilities, gas, insurance, and every other expense just to survive. And by the time you cover all that, there's probably nothing or very little left for any extras. But here's the thing that matters the most, and it's what I want you to take away from this. FIRE isn't just about the math, it's about the mindset. It's about deciding how much you really need to live on, what you're willing to trade off, and how to build a life that feels right for you, not just someday, but right now as well. And that mindset, it can change everything, even if you never go full FIRE. And that's an important thing to fully grasp. You don't have to go all in on FIRE to learn something valuable for it. At its core, FIRE is about intentionality. It's about being aware of your money instead of just reacting to whatever comes your way. It's about asking better questions. Not just, can I afford this, but is this how I want to spend my life energy? That's the shift most people miss. The real lesson in FIRE isn't save 70% of your income or retire by 40. It's deeper than that. It's asking yourself, how much do I really need to live on right now and in the future? What does enough look like for me? What am I willing to trade off now so I can have more freedom later? And what kind of life am I actually building, not just someday, But today, there's a quote I love from the book, Your Money or Your Life. The price of anything is the amount of life you exchange for it. Think about that for a second. Every dollar you spend on your rent, your car, your groceries, or even that random Amazon purchase, it's not just money. It's a piece of your time, your energy. It's a piece of your life. And that question, is it worth it? That's the heart of the FIRE mindset. It's not about being miserly or extreme. It's about getting clear on what you value and making sure the way you spend, save, and invest your money actually supports the life you want to live. And here's the thing. You don't have to save 50% of your income to do that. You don't have to retire by 40. Cut out every expense just to the bare minimum. What you have to do is get intentional. You have to decide, what's enough for me? What kind of life do I want now, and what kind of life do I want later? And how do I create a balance between those two? When you make those decisions on purpose instead of by default, you start building a version of financial independence that fits you. Then you found the part of FIRE that's worth keeping for you personally, no matter where you are in your financial journey. So here's the thing. You don't have to follow the traditional FIRE path to build financial freedom. You don't have to live on ramen and mac and cheese. Cut out everything that makes you happy, or even save 50, 60, or 70% of your income. You can create your own version of financial independence, one that works for you. For me, it's about building a life I love now and later. It's about living intentionally, not excessively frugal, and it's about finding a balance between enjoying the present and planning for the future. I'm not aiming for extreme sacrifice. I'm aiming for alignment where my money supports the life I actually want to live, where my spending reflects my values, and where my savings and investment habits are consistent but realistic for my income, my family, and my goals. You see, I'm already over 50, so by the FIRE definition, I'm not exactly retiring early. But by my definition, I've already taken back some of my freedom. I'm building my own version of financial independence, one that actually feels good to me. I used to think that I would run that high-stress marketing agency that I established until I was well into my 60s or 70s. Just keep growing it, just keep pushing, maybe even build out multiple agencies across the country. But the truth is, it brought me no joy, no happiness, and I didn't want to do that work anymore. Every day felt like a grind. I'd wake up dreading the day ahead, staring at my calendar and thinking, is this really it? Is this all there is? And the only thing that kept me going, the money, the forecast, the projections, the numbers that told me, if you just keep going, look at how much you could be earning. But here's what I've learned. If the only thing that makes you want to keep going is the money, you're not free. It wasn't until I finally let go of that business that I felt real freedom. I stopped taking new clients. I scaled way back, just enough to serve my existing client base. And yeah, that decision wrecked my income, and it set me back quite a ways. I lost a lot of money, but I gained something so much more important: peace, clarity, and the space to figure out what I really wanted to do next. And this, coaching, teaching, helping people build holistic wealth and financial freedom, this is the work I love. I could see myself doing this well past retirement age, just like Jack Canfield, who's in his 80s now, still writing, still speaking, still changing lives, because he loves the work he's doing. And listen, I get it. Not everyone can do what I did. Just shut the door on a business or a career or whatever else it is that you're doing right now and walk away from it all to start something else. But what you can do is decide what freedom looks like for you. Maybe it's retiring early. Maybe it's working part-time. Maybe it's having enough saved to take a year off, travel, or start a business. Whatever that version of freedom is, you can start working towards it. It might take a few years. It might take longer than you think. But every step you take towards that life, that's your version of financial independence. And that's what really matters. Whatever your version of financial independence looks like, the key is to define it for yourself can build a plan that feels good, not just in theory, but in practice. It's not about perfection. It's not about following someone else's formula. It's about creating freedom on your own terms and building a life that feels right for you. Financial independence isn't one size fits all. It's not about retiring early or hitting some magic savings numbers. It's about creating a life that feels free on your terms. But to do that, you have to know where you're starting, because if you don't have a starting point, you have no way of defining your journey. Watch this video next to learn exactly where you're starting from right now.